The clock is ticking and the entire basketball world is watching the future of the WNBA more closely than ever before. Behind closed-doors conversations between league leadership, team owners, and the Women's National Basketball Players Association are becoming one of the most important storylines in professional sports right now. Whenever a professional league approaches a labor negotiation window, the atmosphere changes immediately. Players begin thinking about long-term security, owners begin evaluating financial stability, and fans begin asking a very simple question: will the next season move forward without disruption? Moments like this are not unusual in sports history. Nearly every major league, including the NBA, NFL, and MLB, has experienced periods where collective bargaining negotiations created tension before a new agreement was reached. But what makes this moment different for the WNBA is the timing. The league is experiencing one of the largest growth periods in its history. Attendance numbers in several markets have increased significantly in recent seasons. Television coverage has expanded across multiple networks. Social media engagement surrounding the league has grown dramatically, bringing new fans into the sport every single week. Because of this momentum, the current negotiations are not simply about maintaining the status quo. They are about defining the next stage of the league's evolution. The agreement that currently governs the league determines everything from minimum salaries to marketing revenue opportunities to travel standards during the season. When that agreement approaches a renegotiation window, the entire structure of the league becomes part of the discussion again. For players, this moment represents an opportunity to secure better conditions and a stronger share of the league's future growth. For owners, it represents the challenge of balancing competitive expansion with financial sustainability.
It's the day of the deadline, the doomsday day for the WNBA CBA negotiations, and we have been covering this relentlessly for over 6 months now, and it's exhausting. And here we are, it's 4:33 p.m. Central Time on March 10th, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know if a deal is going to get done. Now, the latest news that we have is that the players and the owners, they swapped proposals over the weekend, but they didn't disclose any details about those proposals. Now,
to fully understand how the league reached this moment, we need to go back to January of 2020, when the WNBA and the Women's National Basketball Players Association announced a historic collective bargaining agreement. According to the official announcement released by the league at the time, the agreement introduced sweeping improvements designed to elevate the professional experience for WNBA players. One of the most significant elements involved compensation. The new agreement dramatically increased the earning potential for top players by combining salary, bonuses, and league marketing opportunities. Under the structure of that deal, certain elite players could earn compensation packages exceeding $500,000 annually when incentives and promotional agreements were included. That represented one of the largest financial improvements in the league's history. The agreement also addressed maternity benefits in a way that had rarely been seen in professional sports. Players received full salary while on maternity leave, along with childcare assistance and upgraded travel accommodations for players with families. The deal also expanded opportunities for player marketing partnerships, allowing athletes to work directly with the league to promote both the WNBA brand and their personal brands. Travel standards were another key focus of the agreement. For many years, WNBA teams primarily relied on commercial flights during the season, which could lead to demanding travel schedules across the United States. The new agreement created commitments to improve travel conditions and reduce some of the physical strain associated with constant commercial flights. In addition, the deal introduced expanded career development programs that help players build skills and opportunities beyond their playing careers. When the agreement was signed, it was widely praised as one of the most progressive labor deals in sports. However, the contract also contained a clause
as the public support, because I feel like there was a point in time when a lot of the public, or the majority of the public, was on the side of the players. However, because we've just known so much about all of this, I think a lot of people have flipped to the side of supporting the league a little bit more. And that's not to say that the fans don't want to see the WNBA players get paid well and be taken care of and be treated like professional athletes. But I think we've just, like I said, I'm not going to say it over and over, we've heard too much. Okay, we've heard too much. But
another factor increasing the intensity of this moment is the dramatic rise in attention surrounding the WNBA over the past few years. The league has experienced a wave of momentum that many analysts describe as a turning point for women's professional basketball. One of the biggest drivers of that momentum has been the arrival of a new generation of stars. Among the most prominent names is Caitlin Clark, who became one of the most recognizable players in college basketball while competing for the University of Iowa. During her collegiate career, Clark drew national attention for her long-range shooting ability, high-scoring performances, and dynamic offensive leadership. In 2024, she became the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I basketball history, surpassing previous records for both men and women according to official NCAA statistics. Her games frequently attracted massive television audiences and sold-out arenas across the country. When players with that level of popularity enter the professional ranks, they bring new audiences with them. The impact can be seen in rising merchandise sales, increasing broadcast coverage, and a surge of conversation across digital platforms. But Clark is only one example of the broader trend. The WNBA now features a deep pool of talented athletes who have built strong followings among fans. The growth of women's college basketball has also created a pipeline of highly visible players entering the league each year. All of these factors combine to create a moment where the league is more visible than ever before. With increased visibility comes increased expectations from players regarding compensation, travel conditions, and long-term opportunities. That is why many observers believe the next collective bargaining agreement could become one of the most important agreements in the league's history.
Any sense of urgency when they didn't reply for 6 weeks over the holiday break or whatever, when they weren't getting back with a proposal. But why are we now literally at the 11th hour and they're just now meeting in person? And it's ironic too, because obviously Team USA basketball is preparing for their FIBA World Qualifier games or whatever they are. Honestly, these games, like, I know everybody's excited just to see basketball because we've been only talking about the CBA.
From the perspective of players, the upcoming negotiations represent a critical opportunity to reshape the economic structure of the league. The Women's National Basketball Players Association has consistently advocated for improvements in several areas that players believe should evolve as the league grows. One of the most frequently discussed topics is the salary cap. In professional sports, the salary cap determines the maximum amount teams can spend on player salaries each season. Increasing the salary cap allows teams to offer higher contracts and retain star players more easily. Players have also expressed interest in expanding revenue sharing models. Revenue sharing determines how the money generated by league activities such as broadcasting rights, sponsorship deals, and merchandise sales is divided between owners and players. As the popularity of the WNBA grows, players argue that they should receive a larger share of that growth. Travel standards remain another important issue. Although improvements have been introduced in recent seasons, many players still believe that expanded charter travel could significantly improve recovery time and reduce the physical stress of constant flights during the schedule. Roster expansion is also frequently discussed. Expanding roster sizes could create more opportunities for young players entering the league while also giving teams additional flexibility during the season. Each of these topics represents a major financial and structural decision for the league, which is why negotiations between the players' union and league leadership often take time to resolve.
Has been more vocal than she ever has been throughout these CBA negotiations is Caitlin Clark. I'll just read this quick quote from her here. She said, "There is a time crunch and things do need to be solved. It is our responsibility to get something done for not only all of us, the players that are older in this league, the players that are younger in this league, but the next generation of hoopers, We don't want to lose what we have right now. That's my main focus, and I look forward to playing on April 25th in New York City, my first."
While players focus on securing improvements, owners must consider the long-term financial sustainability of the league. Operating a professional sports franchise involves significant costs, including arena operations, marketing, staff salaries, travel, logistics, and player compensation. Although the WNBA has experienced strong growth in recent years, many ownership groups view the league as a long-term investment rather than a short-term profit model. Owners must balance their desire to reward players with improved compensation against the need to maintain financial stability across all franchises. Expansion plans also play a role in these calculations. The WNBA has announced new expansion teams in recent years as the league continues to grow into additional markets. Expanding the league requires significant investment from ownership groups, including arena agreements, staffing infrastructure, and marketing campaigns designed to build new fan bases. Broadcasting deals represent another key factor. Television and streaming rights are one of the largest revenue sources for professional sports leagues. As the popularity of the WNBA continues to rise, future broadcasting agreements could dramatically increase the league's overall revenue potential. Because of these factors, owners must evaluate how any new collective bargaining agreement will interact with long-term growth strategies. Negotiations therefore involve complex financial planning rather than simple yes or no decisions.
Oh, if everybody just thought they had an infinite amount of time, and as long as they got the CBA done before the first season game, that they would be fine. But that part of it all has been a little bizarre to me. And honestly, like, I'm kind of disinterested now. Like, March 10th is here. Like, if they get it done, amazing. Hopefully we can just celebrate the win and move forward and actually start covering basketball. But I will say, if this continues on, like, I'm not going to cover it in the kind of detail that I've been covering it in the past, because it's honestly just not worth my time. We've been doing this.
So what happens next for the WNBA? At this moment, there has been no official confirmation that a future season will be cancelled or delayed, and that is an important point to understand. Labor negotiations in professional sports often create tension before a final agreement is reached, but many times those negotiations eventually lead to solutions that move the league forward. What makes the current situation so significant is that it arrives during a period when women's basketball is receiving more attention than at almost any point in its history. The WNBA is seeing stronger television audiences, expanding sponsorship deals, and a rapidly growing fan base across digital platforms. A new generation of stars has brought millions of new viewers into the sport, and that momentum has created expectations about what the league's future should look like. The upcoming negotiations between league leadership and the Women's National Basketball Players Association could determine how that future is shaped. Decisions made during these discussions could influence player salaries, travel standards, league expansion, and long-term revenue structures. In other words, the outcome of these negotiations will not only affect the next season but could define the direction of women's professional basketball for many years to come. Fans are watching closely as the league enters a new era of growth and visibility. Many analysts believe the next agreement could help unlock even greater investment in teams' facilities and media coverage. If both sides reach a deal that supports long-term growth, the WNBA could continue expanding its global audience and strengthening its place in the professional sports landscape. The next few months will be extremely important for the future of the league, and until a final agreement is reached, the basketball world will keep watching closely. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more WNBA updates. Thanks for watching, and see you in next video.